Traders, what is going on? Good morning to you guys. Hope you all had a fantastic weekend. We got a lot to look at this morning. The stock market's doing very, very well this morning, having a solid gap up, guys, like over plus 3% this morning. Kimberly in the house. There we go. What's going on, Kim? Excited to have you in here today. The stock market is doing very well. Now, why is it doing well? Well, over the weekend, Dow futures jumped up 700 points as a vaccine hope nears. Now, what is that vaccine? Where's it coming from? What ticker are we looking at this morning that has a vaccine? Now, every stock, every company over the last month has been coming out with coronavirus news. It's pretty much been its own sector, its own hot sector as far as this market goes. Cody in the house, man. What's going on? Hope you guys had a great weekend. mRNA. This is what we're looking at. You guys see on the gap up watch list over here. These are our gappers, leading gappers for those of you who are new. Gap up watch list. We got our symbols. We got our float, the volume. mRNA, our second from the top, 200 million in float. But this stock has been absolutely killing it the last few months, and especially overnight here. Now, why are they up right now? The whole stock market is pretty much rallying because of mRNA. mRNA said they pretty much came out with phase 1 trials, which usually does not bring in a lot of hype. Now, when you're considering the coronavirus, phase 1 trials is going to bring in hype. Now, phase trials, phase 1 usually says, is the drug, is the treatment, is it safe? Phase 2 says, is it working? Phase 3 says, is it better than what's on the market? Well, the coronavirus, pretty much mRNA is expediting the process. Now, they came out with some news saying they've had 45 different patients that they've been trialing, and they've given 2 doses of their drug to them, and all 45 have developed antibodies against the coronavirus. Now, that's why mRNA is popping on up. I don't know much about any of that. Sounds like good news to me. Let's take a look at the chart. mRNA. This is what I know about. I know about charts. CoinFox, what's going on, man? PTLA to you. mRNA this morning. Look at this. Closed at 67 bucks, up to 87 at the moment. So mRNA's got clear blue skies ahead. If we look at the past chart history, always looking left of the chart traders. Every time we pull up a stock, always get an idea of its personality, taking a look left. So this stock's really been on a run. Obviously, since February, once it broke over this 50-day, it's really been holding, respecting these levels. So mRNA is going to have all the volume today. I mean, this stock is essentially why the market is doing so well this morning. So we got to watch it. Certainly have to watch it. Now, is it overbought? I mean, yeah, it is. All buyers coming into this stock's getting very, very overbought conditions. Now, let's take a look at some other stocks I'm looking at. Every time we do our pre-market analysis, I'm always going to review the same trades we looked at. For instance, on Friday, I'm going to pull those up today and take a look at them, see how they did, see if there's a better setup now on them. Just get an idea of what the stock's doing. We're going to review some of the stocks that we traded on Friday just to get an idea of is there still more opportunity on them today. And some of these stocks included are going to be from this bear scan watch list. This is one of my favorite scanners, guys. You all know overbought conditions. We're going to be looking at some short opportunity plays. Kimberly, I had a question for you. Well, you won 2 free weeks on the scanners, ISW, and mine don't show the float. Yeah, so that is, you're right. That's not on the elite version. That is going to be, that's going to be on the platinum version, the float there. So there you go. It's all in the description below if you guys are interested in the scanners, up to 30% off. Kevin, love the name, brother. Just getting started. Enjoy your videos, so I thought I'd join the live stream. Thanks, man. Good to have you in here this morning. Getting the live streams back up and rolling. Used to do them a while back, and I enjoy them. It helps you guys out, helps me out. You guys force me to do these pre-market analysis in the morning for myself, so it's good for everybody. ALLO, this one I want to go over from Friday. ALLO. Now, this is one stock that on Friday we were looking at for this stock to have a little bit of selling pressure on it. every time, well, look at the daily chart. Look at these overbought conditions here. Look at this volume. So we look at many different variables, traders, and I'm going to try, I don't want to block the scanners for those of you who are looking at them, so let me do this right here. For those who are muting me because I'm just running my mouth. ALLO, this stock, overbought conditions. This is something we look for. Many different variables. What do we have? We have 8 million shares of volume, 8.5. That's something we haven't seen before. We're always looking at the volume. Why is that? Because when we have abnormal amounts of volume on a stock relative to its average trading day, that brings opportunity. What are we paid for as traders? We're paid for what? Our opportunity, not the time that we're giving to the market. It's this opportunity that we're looking for. And when it presents itself, we're looking, what, to capitalize on that. So ALLO, this has abnormal amounts of volume on it. It's providing us overbought conditions. RSI is through the roof. That's this relative strength index, that indicator for us to see whether the stocks are overbought, oversold. Now what are we looking for? I'm looking for this one. It had some sellers up in the 46 area. I'm looking for a little pop and see if we can get that first red day on it, because we have pushed up from about 35 roughly to 46.7 in a matter of what, a day. So that's what I'm looking for. ALLO, looking for a little bit of selling pressure on that. I just want to go ahead and bring this up for you guys who may have traded. What did we trade on Friday? It was SAVA. Yeah, SAVA. This stock oversold conditions. I just want to go over this very briefly. I want to go over this very briefly. For those of you who traded it on Friday, this one I did trade, took a trade on 140s to like 160s, left a lot of meat on the table here on SAVA, but we went over in pre-market. This one had terrible news on it. They failed their phase 3 trial and ended up buying it. And that's what oftentimes how I trade. When something's very oversold, it has bad news, usually scooping it on up. If something has great news, but you have a lot of emotional traders coming into it, a lot of people just buying euphoria, saying this is going up forever. That's how we trade here. Then that's what these intensity scanners do. They're saying, okay, this is getting very overbought or very oversold. Not really taking a bias on what the news is or not. Because, for instance, mRNA, that one has great news. It could go higher, but I'm not going to be a buyer at the top and then hope that it goes higher. You know, you're buying high, selling higher. And CoinFox, nice. SAVA dipped to 160 to 190. So Kimberly, so the colors like blue or light yellow don't mean yeah. So you saw that in one of my videos. Yep, that's really all you need right there. Honestly, the yellow means tiny float, and you see right here BLIN is 3 milli. That's 3 million in float. That's very tiny. That stock's gonna move. It's going to be like whipping back and forth. CHK 8 million. TTPH 7 million. So the blue is like roughly 5 to 10 million. The yellow is going to be anything lower than that. All right, let's continue down the list, guys, because we got quite a bit to look at this morning. ACB at the moment, you see that second from the top right now, gap up watch list. ACB, this is one that is reaching its pre-market highs at the moment. It's at 14.59, 14.60. Elton in the house. What's going on, Elton? Good to see you in here. It's going to be a good day, traders. But the thing is, look, we got to make sure today, guys, that we wait and let the dust settle before we take a trade. Oftentimes, Mondays get here, and then we're so anxious to take trades that we don't wait for the best setup. So we're going to go over a lot of plays. I'm going to write them in chat, and then we're going to wait for the best setups this morning. ACB 1470s is testing pre-market highs. We were looking at this one on Friday. Look at this, guys. ACB from 530 just a few days ago. Now, why were we looking at ACB? Well, they did come out. This is a marijuana company. So, you know, everyone's on quarantine right now. Everyone's smoking pot. So that's that's why ACB is going up. Everyone's at home smoking pot, and they came out with news saying their earnings were better than they were actually expecting. And, you know, it makes sense. It makes sense. We don't have to go deeper in that. So ACB, this one is on a nice trend from last Thursday. And what do we see every single day? This is why we always look left of the chart. It's part of our analysis. We always pull up fundamental analysis. Take a look at that. Look at the trader analysis. Are there traders here on this stock? Are there a lot of them? Good volume. Yes, there is. ACB's already at 490. It's pre-market highs. And then we take a look at the technical analysis. Now, last week up till today, ACB has what? It's dipped out of the gates and then pushed up. So we zoom in here. Look, dip from about 560s to 530 and had a nice little push on it, nice little ramp. On Friday, it's hard to see here. This is the 5-minute candlesticks, but we did have a sell-off right here from 880 all the way down to 780. So a point doesn't look like that much, but yeah, it was. So what are we looking for today? ACB, yeah, we're getting a nice, really getting overbought conditions on it at the moment, already testing pre-market highs. But if it does what it did on Thursday, if it does what it did on Friday, this one is likely to see, a little bit of a sell-off. Wait for this one, it can drop a point or more. Then we start seeing this thing turn back around. Now, it does have a trend on it. I don't know if it's going to hold this because it is a pretty steep trend. Steep trends are hard to hold, but if it does hold this trend, in which it could, it's going to be back down to about 12 bucks on ACB if that one falls back down to it. And like I said, I trade the over-under method. So for instance, on Friday, this one did test the trend, actually tested it by 30-40 cents. It came under it and then popped right back up over it. So it doesn't mean exactly if this cracks the trend by a penny, it's done. Sometimes they touch them, sometimes they don't quite get to the trend line, sometimes they get to them, break them, but then it's like a fake out breakout. We all know what fake out breakouts are. If you've ever joined a chat room and everyone's saying buy, bull flag breakouts, and then you buy that and then it whips on you like a point and then you're stuck into it, you go deer in headlights. That's a little side rant. All right, that's ALLO. mRNA. mRNA is the reason why the market is gapping up the way it is with their vaccine. Killing it. Absolutely killing it. ACB, SRNE. This one's one we really need to look at this morning as well. SRNE. This was a big play on Friday. Big play on Friday. Actually, Thursday at the close at 250s. 250s on SRNE. Let's pull up the chart here. This is the last 5 days here. SRNE closed at 250. Had a huge day. Huge day on Friday. And it's looking for some continuation here today on Monday. So what happened on Friday? Well, the shares jumped about 158%. On Fridays, the company said it's a coronavirus deal as well going on here. A lot of different coronavirus plays out there. This is coronavirus as well. So this one also had a very low antibody concentration. So the fundamentals are there. That's the hot PRs coming out. I'm not going to dig into the PR. If you guys want to take a look at that, you can. It's coronavirus related though. And it makes sense. That's what's hot right now. mRNA, SRNE. This is what's hot. So SRNE, what are we looking at here? Well, if we look way left of the chart, set at 990s now, we're going to have resistance along the way here. But we also have now some support. When a stock breaks up through resistance, that turns into what? Support. So 820 I'm looking at as a support level. 920 is going to be, where's it at right now? 10 bucks. All right, this is all we got on the past chart history to look at here. And 10 bucks is pretty much back here where this thing opened and closed these 2 days. So yeah, I mean, there's going to be some resistance in here from 10 to 1065. It's essentially at its all-time highs right now. So it's at those levels. So we're going to see what's going to happen. It says pre-market highs. It's at its all-time highs. SRNE. This thing can break up through it. It obviously can. We'll see what's going to happen. SRNE. I'm just going to pull out the popcorn on this one and watch it. Not an edge there necessarily for me. A lot of volume on it already. I like ALL for a short. That's something with a little bit less volume on it, overbought conditions. There's a few more I'm looking at on the short side I do want to go over, such as UNFI. Now, if you guys have been here for a little bit of time, we've been watching UNFI. This one had a clean breakout past the 200-day, 50-day, 13 EMA, and then it started forming this ascending triangle breakout pattern. If I believe it correctly, CoinFox, you pointed out this pattern on UNFI. Or was that CODX? Not sure. Yep, you're right. Corona Power. So this ascending triangle breakout pattern worked great, guys. If you don't know what this is, look it up. It works. It worked beautifully on UNFI. What do we have? We have higher lows here. Nice little trend forming. A squeeze has resistance 1220, 1230, and then it gets squeezed together. Breaks out. The third time is usually the charm. Not the first time. Not the second break. The third time's the charm here. Had a solid clean breakout. And it went from 12 bucks to nearly about 23, 24. So what are we seeing now? Candlesticks. Taking a look at the candlesticks here. It's had a lot of selling pressure. So it had a big red day from about 22 down to about 18. And then we had a little push up. We had a push up, yeah, a little bit of a push up. Not a setup, a push up from about 18 bucks to 20 bucks, and it could not really rebound. So this rebound it tried to have, there was a lot of selling pressure in here, and this is what this upper wick means. So from $20 down to 18, a lot of selling pressure. So on UNFI, what am I looking at? I'm looking for it to fail again. Looking for it to fail again here today. We're already noticing some selling pressure coming into this. This resistance line right here is actually well respected at the moment at 20 bucks. I always draw these lines and then come back to the chart later, and they're usually always respecting these levels. Yeah, so we'll see what's going to happen here today. We do probably have a lot of longs still underwater here. We'll see what's going to happen if this $20 level is still going to hold up as resistance. I like that upper shadow. I like the overbought conditions. So we'll see if another rebound can get rejected here on UNFI. So I'm looking at that for a short play as well. I'm going to write all these down for you guys, so don't be discouraged if you can't remember them all, because I can't either. That's why I have to write them all down. All right, so APT is the last one of the last stocks I'm looking at this morning as we're approaching 9:20, the end of our stream. APT, what's going on here? This is one that we've been looking at, keeping it kind of on the back burner here. I do like this play. It kind of went up and down like a seesaw on Friday, but the daily chart's not bad. I like the daily on APT quite a bit. This is a bear flag. Now, it looks very similar to that ascending triangle pattern we just looked at on UNFI, but what's the difference here? Why would this one be a bear flag and not kind of like a bullish pattern? The reason for that is because of this huge move that it made from like $5 to $40, and it was very recent. When a very recent move like this happens, and it's very fast, and you're going to get a lot of baggies on a play like this. A lot of baggies means that there's so many longs underwater. And what's a baggie? I call them baggies. They're intraday day traders that are looking for those small windows of opportunity that end up, getting in it, and then it crashes on them. Then they turn into long-term investors. That's a baggie. They're long-term investors, so they're still holding and hoping here. And that's the reason this is a bear flag. You're going to have so much just natural resistance on APT. Anytime this gets a pop, just like UNFI, it's going to be met with resistance every single time, APT. And I'll pull up a little pattern for you guys. Here's a bear flag right here as well. It's very similar. It is making higher lows. It does look like an ascending triangle pattern, but it just made a very large, big move on it. So, with that being said, it's going to be met with a lot of resistance. APT. So I'm looking for this pattern to break around the $13 area for it to get back under this 50-day moving averages, because it's been above that 50-day ever since this huge initial move. When a move like that happens, it's going to be a while before it's able to make a move like that again. So guys, that's the watch list. I'm going to write it all down for you guys so you're all well prepared. It's 9:20. I'll give you a second just to review what's going on right now. Our gap up watch list, gap down watch list, bear scan watch list, market summary. Market's not looking bad this morning. So let me get all that written down for you. All right, we're going to go over short sell plays first. ALLO, like APT, UNFI. Corona power plays, like CoinFox said. It's going to be mRNA as our leader, and then SRNE. And then ACB, looking for a dip to trend, ACB. So those are some good plays right there to look at, guys. Not bad at all. Not bad at all. Any questions from you guys before we wrap up the stream this morning? Kimberly, Invex. Let's pull up Invex. Yeah, not bad there either. Invex is not bad either. Obviously, overbought conditions, abnormal volume, stuff I look for. I do like the upper shadows on it. We have several upper shadows here. I retested those areas, and it's getting a gap up this morning to $50. So, not bad. It doesn't necessarily fit my short sell criteria, but there's certainly a play there on INVEX. So it's a good one to bring up, Kim. Kind of that criteria I look for on some of these shorts, just for reference, is like ALL, UNFI. Let's take a look. Both of these, ALLO, this is day 2 of a very large move. And what I'm looking for is no volume, essentially. I mean, some people would look at that and say, oh, no volume, I'm not trading it. But the reason I look for very light volume on some of these short sell plays in after hours and pre-market is because look at this ramp at the end of the day from 44.40 up to 46.70, 80. There's a lot of longs coming into this end of day. See this volume down here? A lot of longs coming in to ramp up the close. And what are they looking for over the weekend? They're looking for a gap up. A lot of longs coming into this play that's already overbought conditions. They're looking for a gap up. Pre-market after hours. When they don't get it, we're going to naturally see some sell-off at the start of the day. People are going to take their profits and be done with it. It's just what they naturally do. It's the psychology of it. That's all it is. No volume, a lot of longs coming into it. Just going to take some profits. Any questions, guys, before we wrap up the stream? A few minutes till the market opens on up. Let's make sure we predefine that risk today. We will be good to go. It's going to be a good day, guys. Let the dust settle. Guys, smack that like button if you haven't already. If you're enjoying the streams, we're going to keep them up. Do them tomorrow. Provided to you by Avery Day Trading. Free. Just hit the subscribe button, like button. That's all I ask for you guys. Kim, no problem at all. Have a great day as well. Before we get out of here, not every play is 100% going to work out. We just have to recognize that. We're going to go over high probability setups in here every single day, but that doesn't mean every play is going to work out. You can draw a pocket pair of aces on the poker table, and that play not work out. Someone have 4 of a kind, but it's going to work out the majority of the time. So just keep that in mind. You always have to have risk management. Let's not just put all the chips on the table for one setup and go all in. Let's be smart about it. Good risk management. All right, traders, that's going to wrap up the stream. 5 minutes till the market opens on up. Love you guys. We'll see you all first thing tomorrow.